Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. I'm here in London doing the nighttime devotion from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today, Enoch kept God's law. Genesis 6 verse 5, the Lord saw that the wickedness of humankind was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of their hearts was only evil continually. God had a church when Adam and Eve and Abel accepted and hailed with joy the good news that Jesus was their Redeemer. They realized as fully then as we realize now the promise and the presence of God in their midst. Wherever Enoch found one or two who were willing to hear the message he had for them, Jesus joined with them in their worship of God. In Enoch's day, there were some among the wicked inhabitants of earth who believed. The Lord never yet has left his faithful few without his presence, nor the world without a witness. Enoch was a public teacher of the truth in the age in which he lived. He taught the truth, he lived the truth, and the character of the teacher who walked with God was in every way harmonious with the greatness and sacredness of his mission. Enoch was a prophet who spake as he was moved by the Holy Ghost. He was a light amid the moral darkness, a man who walked with God, being obedient to God's law, the law that Satan had refused to obey, that Adam had transgressed, and that Abel had obeyed, and because of his obedience, been murdered over. And now God would demonstrate to the universe the falsity of Satan's charge that human beings cannot keep God's law. He would demonstrate that though humans had sinned, they could so relate themselves to God that they would have the mind and spirit of God and be representative symbols of Christ. This holy man was selected of God to denounce the wickedness of the world and to evidence to the world that it is possible for a person to keep all the law of God. Enoch walked with God while the world around him, sacred history records, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Enoch's righteous life was in marked contrast to the wicked people around him. His piety, his purity, his unswerving integrity was the result of his walking with God, while the wickedness of the world was a result of their walking with the great deceiver. Enoch was a representative man, but he is not praised. He is not exalted. He simply did that which every son and daughter of Adam may do. So the title, Enoch kept God's law. He was a man, a human, born of a woman, just the same as you and me, raised in the ways of God. And he kept the ways of God. He kept his law and he walked continually with him. It said in those days it was very bad. It was a degenerate age. It was a time of great moral decline. Now the Bible does say, before Jesus comes again, the world will be the worst it has ever been, even before the flood. So if things were really bad then, we have a whole lot worse to look forward to. This is why in such a bad time, Enoch kept God's laws, walked with God, prayed with God, to God. And then he was translated, which means the world couldn't really touch him. We can achieve that too. The first step is to keep all the 10 Commandments and to pray continuously.